I'm still eating my lunch, so don't mind me. Mm. Bro, I only got like 30 minutes left on my, actually not even 30 minutes left on my lunch break. Like, why do lunch breaks go so damn fast? It's like we're working a whole 8 hours and only get 1 hour break. Technically, yesterday I worked even longer too because they made me stay longer and I was pissed off. Because I feel like if you're working at a place and you have set hours on a schedule, like if I'm scheduled to work 7:30 to 4:30, why do you want me to come in early? Like, you want me to come in and set up before 7:30 so that I can clock in at exactly 7:30, but then you be asking me to stay even longer? Crazy. Oh, that's crazy. You actually caught the live this time. But I'm pissed off. This day at work has been random and it's like awkward. I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. It's more so like it's really crazy that they got us doing that. That it's like normalized. You know, like we really gotta work. And technically, we work longer because we still gotta wake up and get ready for work, and then we gotta drive to work. Why did my screen disappear like that? Thank you, people. But I don't know. I feel like that's normalized. Like it's already normalized. But I don't know. I just hate working. I feel like people tell me like, oh, you just need to work at a job that you like and find something that you enjoy. But I'm like, bro, I just hate working in general. I feel like it doesn't matter if I'm getting paid $1 million an hour. I'm still gonna hate the job. I'm still gonna hate getting out of bed every day to drive 30 minutes to work for somebody else. I don't know. Because it's not like I'm like a lazy person. I'm actually like a hard worker at everything I do. But I don't know. Some jobs I'd be like, I just be pissed off at work. I should have got a drink. I'd be forgetting not to bring my drinks. Cause yesterday on my break I drove to McDonald's, which is like literally right there. I could have probably walked, but like I could have probably walked to work. But I went to get a soda from McDonald's and it was like a tiny one of those tiny sodas too. And that shit cost $2. I was like, damn. But I mean, like working for myself, I also feel like you know when people own a business, they're like, oh, you should own a business because then you get to be the boss of other people. But it's like I feel like that's too much work too, because I've seen like so many business owners say that they're stressed out because they gotta obviously like worry about paying their employees and keeping their business in line and everything. So that's a stressful job too. So it really depends what you're doing. But I don't know. That's why I'm trying to get into like social media type stuff. But at the same time, social media don't really last forever because I don't know, I could see myself doing like YouTube when I'm like older. But at the same time, it's like I'll have kids and I won't even have time. Like people who do like family channels, I don't know how they have time to record their kids doing stuff. And then I don't want to exploit my kids either. Because I've been watching what's it called? I've been watching like family channels, and all they do is exploit their kids, and you see all the comments are like, oh, where's your kids, where's your kids, we want to see your kids, like when the kids aren't in one video. And I'm like, ew, that's weird. I don't want other adults saying that about my kids, right? I don't know, but I don't know, I feel like I would need to be able to be a mom and not have to record my kid 24/7, right? But then at the same time, even if, like, I can't imagine doing this if I'm like 50 years old, because obviously technology is going to be way more advanced in 50 years, and then you got to figure out how to use that, just like how our parents are figuring out how to use this technology. Cutting hair out of your kitchen isn't a business. I mean, if you're making money and that's your own business, then that's your own business. You know, that's like when people say like, when people bash people for working at like fast food places, or they'll be like, haha, you work at McDonald's, you're only making like $10 an hour, like whatever. But it's like, at least that person got a job making some type of money. You know, like I'm never one to job shame people, because end of the day, I'd be going to get fast food, right? And I can't get the damn food if nobody works there. So I never shame people for what type of job they have, you know, because at least they're trying to provide for their families or just survive in the world. I never been to South Africa. I heard it's nice. I heard it's nice. I want to go to Africa in general because I've never been. But I want to go there. I want to go to South America, Europe, and not really Europe. What's in Europe for real? But I don't know. I'm just pissed off right now because it seems like this place where I'm working, it's like they hired me, but they didn't necessarily have any like space, I guess. Like they kind of just hired me to have like an extra body in the building, right? But not a lot of space. I don't know. It's just annoying. And now, I don't know. It's just weird vibes at work. You know, like when you first start a new job and you don't necessarily like blend in or whatever, or like, you know, people kind of are talking about you and not to your face. Like that's kind of what it feels like. Like I feel like these coworkers that I have now are better than the last ones because they're like more so my age and stuff, but it's like at least I could talk to the people in the office this time, but it's still like an overall shitty job. I don't know. And the thing is, I didn't even go live yesterday because I was so pissed off because they made me stay like an extra 30 minutes. And like they were like, oh, can you stay an extra 15 minutes? And I was like, yeah, but then it turned into 30 minutes because they made me leave 30 minutes early the day before. And now I'm staying 30 minutes later. So it's like a good thing was that like I'm like, okay, I can make up the money. But the bad thing is like I just hate leaving when it's not my time to leave. Like if I'm scheduled to get off at 4:30, I should be leaving, walking out the door at like 4:31, okay? Or even 4:29, right? But if I'm leaving like at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, like not on my time, like I just get pissed off. I've only been there I started literally like March 3rd. So it hasn't even been a whole month yet. And the thing is, like, I don't know, some places they like to take advantage of new people and stuff like that. Like they'll think that you'll agree to everything and say yes to everything, but like that's not me. Like I'm too old for that, and now I know how to like speak up for myself when I don't like certain things. Because basically when I did the interview, my sister, like I basically got the job because my sister works at the other daycare location, So when I did my application and I did the interview, she was saying that she can't hire me at my sister's place because then if we both have vacation at the same time, then they would have to find somebody to replace both of us, right? So they sent me to the other location. So now I'm at this location and they didn't even need like a 4-year-old teacher. They didn't even need anybody for real because it seemed like they were fully staffed. Like they needed people for like the younger class and the babies or whatever. But I told her that I don't want to be with the babies. I never worked with babies before. Not really trying to do that. I like working with kids who can talk and clean up after themselves, you know? So I told her all that. So they're like, yeah, we're going to put you in this location and we're going to put you in this classroom, right? So I came here and they put me in a classroom, but this classroom already had 2 teachers. So I was like, why the fuck did they put me in here? You know, like they don't even need anybody in this classroom. So I basically was the 3rd teacher in that room, and usually each classroom only has 2 teachers, right? So they put me in there as a 3rd teacher, and then the white lady who's a teacher in there, they started moving her around to basically be like the floater person who basically covers the people who call out sick or whatever, right? So they started moving her around to be like in the baby room, in the younger classroom, blah blah blah, and I basically stole her spot, right? But she didn't know that, you know, she was going to be replaced, right? Because they don't need a 3rd teacher, right? So usually when they hire people, it's like the last one hired is the one who's supposed to be like replacing the call out people. But since I don't know how to work with babies, maybe they just didn't want to throw me in there right away. So they have her covering the call out people, right? So now it's to the point where she's crying because she can't be in her classroom anymore because she's been in this classroom the whole year until I got here, right? And then the kids graduate in June to go to kindergarten, right? And she's known these kids since they were babies. Like she's been working at the daycare since she was like, what, 18 or some shit like that, right? So she's crying because I basically replaced her. And it seems like she's mad at me because I stole her job because she and the other lady were like, why the fuck did they hire this girl, aka me, because they don't even need me, right? So now it feels awkward. Like there's like some weird hostility going around, like how she's telling people how she feels about it but not even talking to me about it. Because today she's actually back today. Like she was out for a whole week because first she was on vacation and then she was sick, and then she also is in college right now, so she's taking like, she's going to college for education but she's like almost done. But like she was already missing like Mondays and Thursdays and Fridays or whatever, so they used me to replace her. But now she's almost done with college and she's about to be back to full time. So if she's back to full time, they don't want to have 3 teachers in one classroom because then it's like they're paying one of us for no reason, right? And I feel like they just don't want to send me to another classroom just because they know that if they move me, I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna be like, why the fuck am I in here? You know, but they know she can deal with it because she's worked in other classrooms before. She knows the kids' names. She knows what to do with babies and blah blah blah, right? So she's not gonna say shit, right? And they don't want to piss me off because I just got there. They don't want to lose me. But I feel like they'll probably end up asking me like, can I work in the younger kid room or in the baby room and whatever, you know. But it's just weird. It's like, why do places will hire you and then not have an actual spot for you, you know? It's weird. And then like I'm literally breaking out because I break out when I'm stressed out. So I have like all these new little like dots and pimples showing up on my face. And that's how I know I'm stressed out. But the thing is, I can't hide how I feel on my face because if I'm like pissed off, you're gonna know I'm pissed off. Because I already have like resting bitch face. Um, so it's like, you're gonna know I'm pissed off. You know, if I'm getting off work late or if you like messed up my time, I'll be pissed off. That's just how it is. That's why it would be good like to work for yourself or like for like a better company that actually cares about um employees and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. That's why I want to get into the public school system because then at least like public school, they probably start at 7 o'clock, so I probably will have to wake up earlier. But at least I'm getting out at like 2:30. So it's like I still have time to make afternoon appointments. I still have like basically the whole day to myself to run errands, to live my life. And I know that I'm getting out at exactly 2:30 every day, unless there's like work meetings and stuff like that, right? Because school ends at the same time every day. But with daycares, it doesn't end until the parents come pick up their damn kids. And some of the parents literally drop their kids off at 6 a.m. and don't come here to pick up their kid until 5:59. And I know some people have long work schedules, but I'm like, really? Are you really working that long, 12 hours? I don't think so. Who the hell knows? But some parents just be waiting till the last second. What makes me happy? I don't know, bro. That's like my life goal. Like people be asking me like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up, and where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Hopefully I'll be happy. But other than that, I don't really care about anything else. That's my ultimate goal, is just like actual genuine happiness. And I know like happy people can still complain or be sad and stuff like that, but what's it called, I don't know. Not really, because I feel like there's like a lot of little things, but I'm like, obviously little things make me happy. I'm just not trying to list all that stuff, right? But basically I'm talking about like ultimate genuine happiness. I feel like there's not really a lot of people in the world who have genuine happiness. Even people who say they're happy, or they might look happy, they're not happy, you know? So I feel like that's a rare thing, to be like genuinely happy. Like I said, you could still have some negatives in your life. You could still complain about stuff or go through bad situations in order to be like genuinely happy, but like it's just rare. I don't know, because even like rich people aren't even like genuinely happy, or like people in like good jobs or good family situations and that type of stuff. So that's my like ultimate goal, because a lot of people are like, yeah, my goal in life is to have a family that I can feed, and have a good house and be rich and be able to like travel all over the world and buy all these cars and blah blah blah. But no, my ultimate goal is like genuine happiness. But it's like some people live their whole lives without finding that. Kurdistan, I don't even know where that is. But I don't know, these kids, I'm not really like connected to them though. Like the kids that I'm teaching right now, it's like I kind of feel bad, but most of them are like annoying. Like I know all kids are annoying, but I swear most of these kids have ADHD or autism, or like maybe both. I don't know. But most of these kids are kind of weird. Like I had like this little girl, she'd be like trying to jump on my back when I'm like squatting down, or like she was trying to like kiss my arm and kiss the other teacher's arm, and she'd be like grabbing my leg as I'm walking. And I'm like, you're too old for this. Like it's different if they're like 3 years old, because I used to teach like 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, right? And they used to be on me all the time, but I used to see that as like normal, right? And like I was used to them being all over me. But this age, they're like 5, you know? So I'm not used to like they weren't hugging me before. Maybe they just had to get used to me. But they're 5, so I don't really expect them to be like all over me, asking me to like lift them up and stuff. But like this girl, she's weird. She be all over me. And the teacher told me about her in the beginning, and she was like, "Oh, does that little girl give you like hugs, like weird hugs?" And I was like, no. But now she's giving me weird hugs, to where the point is like kids, like she'll wrap her arms around me and then like slowly go down to like my butt, or like try to touch my butt or something. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? And obviously like she probably doesn't think it's weird, because how kids be hugging their moms, they be like all up in her private parts and in her butt and stuff like that. But like she trying to hug all over me. I'm like, dang girl, you don't even know me like that. um Na, 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 na. You're annoying. I mean, I like kids in general, but it depends if they were actually like raised well, and if they have manners, and if they're like really cute, and like if they're smart. Like I already have a favorite kid, like because she actually listens to instructions, and she's like nice, and she's well spoken. She reminds me of me when I was younger. Like you can tell she's genuinely smart, you know. So I like her, and I like the good behaved kids, the ones who actually listen. And I know people say like, there's this one girl I used to work with, and she was like, yeah, I like the bad kids because even though they're bad, like they're just so cute, and like, I just like the bad kids. And I was like, why would you like a kid who doesn't behave properly? And I guess you like, they have like soft spots or whatever. Like you have a soft spot for every kid in general, or like, how a kid, like they'll be bad but then they have like a good side and all that stuff. I understand that. But like, if a kid is continuously bad and they're bullying other kids, and I be looking at them and I be thinking like, dang, like this looks like a kid who would bully me in middle school. Like I just can't like them. Like I have to like them because it's my job, but I'm not gonna like, they're not my favorite kid, you know? Thanks. But I do have a favorite, and it's usually the girls, because usually girls are more better behaved than boys are. Um, yeah, I do have favorites. I feel like everybody has favorites. Like even parents, and when parents have kids and they're like, "Oh, who's your favorite?" "Oh, I don't have a favorite. I love all my kids equally." And do you really? I feel like everybody like has parents, but obviously if you say it, then you sound like a bad parent, right? Because then it looks like you love one kid more than the other kid, right? But I feel like everybody has favorites. That's just how it is. Um, no, the little boys, like some of them are okay, because some of them you can see that they have like a soft spot. But like they also are just low key annoying. I don't know. Or like it's more so like when they get around other boys, that's when they start acting out. But like I can tell if I were able to like tutor the kids one on one, or like babysit them at their house and play with them with their own toys and stuff, I can tell that the kids, they would be fine, right? But it's more so when they get in a mix of other children, that is what makes them act out. I mean, I do treat everyone equally, I still punish the good ones if they're being bad or not listening, but I'm not showing like favoritism. Like I'm not bringing toys for my favorite kids or anything, but it's more so the fact like, um I don't know, I'm just like, I'm nice to all of them, but like I just have my little favorites. But I'm like, oh, like if they're not here, I'm gonna be like, oh man, that sucks, you know because then it's like, we're like, a good kid isn't here, so automatically the class is more bad if the good ones aren't here. Yeah, I had that before. Like I had a bad kid in one of my old classes, and he wouldn't really listen to the teacher, but he would kind of listen to me. Or like I would kind of like extra reward him, like when he was being good. Like if he was like sharing with another kid, I would be like, oh my gosh, you're sharing, that's so amazing, that's so nice of you, oh my gosh. Like I would like overdo it with him, right, to make him want to share more, because he knows he's going to get that praise. But I don't have to do that with the other kids that I already know, right? Or I would tell him, I'm like, okay, if you be good, if you clean up, if you clean up this mess, like I'll give you a hug. That's gonna be your prize. And like if he really likes hugs, he's gonna clean up the mess, and then he would come like, oh, where's my hug? I need a hug now. And I would hug him. And I'm like, good job. You like so good, right? So that's like how you kind of get them to behave. You just gotta reward them with affection, because some of them you can tell they don't get affection at home. Or I think he had like 3 other siblings, right? And they were like all girls. So it's like when he's shown affection, that's when he's like really cute and he's really nice, right? But other times, like he's literally the class bully, to the point where I had other parents complaining about him. Like literally half the class was like, oh, my daughter's complaining that he said her hair was ugly, and he pushed this little boy to the ground, and blah 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 blah. So he's literally like the school bully, right? But he had his cute moments, you know. um I mean, I don't know. I know like public schools, like my mom is a teacher, and like her class is bad now, they don't listen, but she's like at an underprivileged school, unfortunately, and most of those kids are black, so most of them act up. And it's really sad that like most of the black kids be acting up the most. Like, we have black kids here, and it's literally only maybe like 3 or 4 of them in each class, but literally all of them are bad, right? Like, there's a black little boy in my class. He's like the worst one in the class, but I'm pretty sure that's because I think he has like ADHD and like autism or whatever. So I'm like, is he really bad, or is that just how he is, you know? Like, he knows right from wrong. It's more so like he'll just be following other kids, right? But like, I don't know, I don't think public school kids are that much worse. I don't know. It's like debatable. It just depends where you work. Because like, if I was to work at like a white school, some of those kids are like bad behaved, but I feel like white kids more so, they just lack manners because they're like rude with their parents. I feel like some of these kids, like, you can tell they run their parents into the ground. Like, they don't have manners, they don't say please and thank you, they want their parents to do whatever they say, buy whatever toy they want. I don't know. I mean, bullying shouldn't be a thing, though, is what I'm saying. Like, sure, you could say it's a part of character development, but I feel like it shouldn't have to be a thing in general, you know? Because, like, those bullies end up turning into fucking serial killers and worse. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. And that was the thing, too, like, every time I'm in a new classroom or whatever, and I'm looking at the kids and like studying their behavior and like what they likes and how they treat the other kids, I be thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I be trying to like see how their future is gonna go in my head. I obviously don't say it out loud or whatever, but I be thinking, I'm like, okay, this girl, she's probably gonna be like a mean girl in high school, probably gonna end up in a sorority, be one of those Karens when she grows up, whatever. I be thinking like, this girl, she's probably gonna be cheerleader. This girl, she's gonna be famous for this. This guy, he's probably gonna be a serial killer. You know, that's how I be thinking about kids. It's like, it's crazy how like everything starts when you're younger, and sometimes you can't even change it because it's like set in stone about how they are. But sometimes you can change it, so it's like better to start now. I don't know. I feel like white kids, they're more so like rude. Like, it's all about their, like, how they talk mostly. But then black kids more so are like the actions, I guess, you know? And it depends though, because like some parents like still give like spankings and stuff. So like some of those kids are better behaved, you know? Because if I tell the parents that they were bad, then they know that they're going to get a spanking when they get home, right? But other parents, like with this newer generation, they're more so doing like gentle parenting. So they don't really necessarily like have any discipline measures for their kid, right? Because if they're at daycare for most of the day, it's like we know their kids better than them at this point because they're with us the whole day, right? So they get home, they're not really talking about the kid's day or like disciplining them and like that type of stuff. And I feel like a lot of black kids, some of them don't have dads either, like, which sucks. But this place, I've noticed that a lot of them don't have dads, or like their dads are like the type that like have tattoos on their face and that type, you know? So it's like, you can tell that when they have a daughter, those daughters be running their parents, you know? And mostly it's like the only children, I feel like they suck at sharing and everything. But then you have the other ones who they have like 7 siblings, and they basically like act out because they want attention, right? Because they get attention from their teacher at school. Ugh. What the hell? I could never be a friend with my bully. What the fuck? I mean, I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to, bro, I thought I died, bro. Ugh. But I wouldn't want to be fearful of my parent, though. Because, like, my parents were strict and we got spankings and stuff, but that made me not want to tell them things, like, growing up. Because if I know I'm going to get a spanking, I'm not going to tell them things, you know? But I don't know. Like, I would rather, I don't know. I feel like gentle parenting does create spoiled kids, though. Because there's a girl that I tutor, and I'm friends with her mom. And her mom has to discipline her right there. And she'll put her in, like, a timeout chair for 3 minutes. But it's like, that don't really work, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes for some kids that don't even work, actually. You can say, like, oh, you know, you can't play outside, can't go to the park, I'm gonna take your toys away. You can say that stuff, but some kids don't care. Like, I have a kid like that right now. Like, we try to, like, not threaten him, but, like, we try to, like, take away that stuff, right? Because he really likes to play outside. So we tell him, we're like, oh, if you don't listen, you can't play at recess. So he doesn't listen. We have him sitting on the bench for the whole recess time, and he doesn't end up caring, right? And then he acts the same every damn day. And he's about to be kicked out of the school. Because he used to be worse, because he was in the other classroom, and then he moved to our classroom. Because apparently we're more strict, right? Because we got 2 black teachers in our room. They know we don't play. So they put him in our classroom to see if he would change his behavior. But no, he's still, like, even if we're strict and on him and stuff like that, he's still terrible. Yeah, I feel like you need to definitely have a balance, because you don't want your kids to be afraid of you. Like, if you're just only giving them spankings when they're bad, they're just gonna be afraid. Not really gonna do a lot, you know. But I feel like the thing you can do is just overly reward the good behavior. That's what I try to do. Like, if when the bad kids are acting out, like, sure, you probably didn't look at me or, like, didn't listen all day, right? You probably were rolling around on the carpet, hitting your friends, that type of thing. But if you're putting the toys away and you volunteer to help and pass out the snack, and you clean the carpet, like, if you do things that are good, sometimes I'm still gonna reward you for that behavior. I'm not gonna be like, oh, like, you weren't listening all fucking day, but at least you put the toys away, good job. Like, I'm not gonna say it in a sarcastic way or anything like that, but I'm still reward them like I would any other kid. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, you can't just scare these kids. That doesn't work. And especially, like, this generation, since they're growing up with technology and all they do is watch, like, weird videos on the internet, and, like, or their parents don't discipline them, and blah blah blah. You can't do shit. I've even, like, tried to say stuff to this little girl, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell your mom. And then she was like, oh, my mom lets me do whatever I want. She doesn't care if I get in trouble. I do whatever I want. And I was like, huh? And then the thing is, I do tell the mom, and the mom is like, oh, well, sometimes she just acts up some days. I'm like, no, bro, your child is a fucking brat, but the parents don't know how their kids be acting at school. So it's like, I told the mom that one day, and I was like, oh, you know what she told me the other day? She told me that she's in charge of the house, and that you guys let her do whatever you want, and she runs you guys, right? So I told the mom exactly what this little girl said, and the mom was like, oh, really? That's crazy. And you could tell, like, the mom was, like, bothered by that, because it's like, I would be embarrassed if my kid was telling the teachers that I ran the house, that my kid runs the house instead of me. So then the day after that, I don't know if she got her butt whooped or like if the mom talked to her or what, but she was a little less bossy like ever since that day, right? So that's what I do now these days. Like, I'd be telling the parents exactly what the kids think about them, or like say, like how they act at school. And I've had so many parents that are like, "Oh, my kid is an angel. Oh my gosh." And I'm like, "Really? Your kid is the bully of the class. What the fuck you mean he's an angel? Is that what you think about him? You know, you think you raised an angel? No, he is literally here terrorizing kids, hitting them on the playground with balls, pushing them to the ground, tackling them on the playground, about to strangle kids, you know? But they think their kids are angels. It's like really concerning to see. And I could understand that, like, if that's all they see, because all they're doing is going home, giving the kid dinner, give him a bath, and then put him to bed. So, like, of course, those last 3 hours, he's gonna be an angel. He's tired from terrorizing kids at school, you know? Yeah, like there's like the whole thing, like, don't disrespect your elders or disrespect your teachers, but like these kids today, they don't give a fuck. And it's obviously most of the parents raising them, because now you have parents that are like 20 years old raising these kids, right? Or like, you know, all the teen pregnancies and blah blah blah, right? So you have younger parents, and like sometimes younger parents, they like know how to discipline them. Like me, like I was raised with strict parents, you know, so I feel like I'm probably gonna end up being the same way, unfortunately. Like, I'm gonna know a balance or whatever. But other kids who are spoiled their whole lives, they're literally just gonna be spoiled the whole time, because that's just how they are, you know. Where are the cars coming from? But yeah, I gotta go. My break is over, unfortunately. Yeah, I only had one sister, and she is a year and a half younger than me, but that's pretty much it. Damn. And I'd be so pissed off, like, going back into work after my break. Like, I literally just want to go home. Like, and that's why I wish I could be part-time, because if I worked part-time, I would be fine, you know, because I would still be able to go home at like 2 o'clock, you know. But I gotta get full-time in order to get more hours and more money and benefits and blah blah blah. I don't know. Bye.